All right, what's up, Dean Catlin here. I'm going to help you out with your Automata drawing that you need for submission today. You should have these three new parts added to your assembly, and the purpose of this video is to help you with getting your drawing looking like this. All right, so you should have those three parts built from watching the video with Mr. Potts. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create the drawing. Here we go. We're going to go down here, hit the plus, create a new drawing. We're going to select created by me, pick your title block that you have customly made, open that up. Now remember, we're going to close out of these first because we want to make a couple of changes. We want this to be a B size sheet. That's going to increase the size of our workspace, and we're going to make sure our scale is 1:1. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click here on this tab for sheets, right click on sheet 1, look at its properties, and change it to a B size and scale 1:1 and check. So we don't have to select those things when we insert our drawings. All right. There were three things that you had to make for this drawing, and they should be found in your Part Studio. So we're going to insert. We're going to look in your Part Studio, not in Assemblies, but in your Part Studio. You should be able to find your follow rod, your follower, and your guide. And those are the three things that we want to bring in. So let's start with the follow rod. Pretty easy. We'll start over here on the side. There's the front view. And then once that loads, we should be able to pull up here and get the top view, click, and get your isometric there. Unclick the projection, right click on that, and make sure that the isometric is shaded, and then go throughout doing your dimensions. There's not a whole lot of dimensions to do for this one, so I'll knock it out really quick. I'm not going to do all the dimensions that you need. You should be able to figure out how to dimension things properly on your own. But we'll add a note for this one. This is the follow rod. Right? You can make that bold if you want to, make it a little larger, but that's our follow rod. You're going to bring in the follow rod. You're also going to bring in, you'll notice down here on your auto populate, it's going to bring in the material that it is and the mass. That will not change as you bring in other parts. It's just an industry standard not to make more than one part on one page. But for the purposes of our screenshot, so I don't have to have like 5 screenshots to look at, we're just going to do 3 parts on one page. So that's probably going to stay as is as you bring in the other parts. I'm not so much concerned about the mass as I'm concerned about you having the proper scale and all 3 parts dimensioned. All right, to show off that you've done that. Okay, so you're going to bring in the follow rod, then you're going to insert the other parts here, which are the guide and the follower. We'll just kind of go down the list here. Here's the follower, front view, bring up, get your top view, click, get your isometric. Remember to unclick on the projection, right click on that, and you should be able to show shaded. Now, let me go back to the projected view here. It's not going to be a bad idea to get the side view on this one because it's going to show the radius of that curve at the bottom, and that's something that you want to include in your dimensions. All right, so make sure that you do that. And of course, there's other things. There's another thing about this that I think would be good to include is if you right click on this, and we want to see the hidden lines because we want to see how deep that little cutout goes, right? And you'll want to include that in your dimensions as well. Like how deep is it from here to here, right? It should be 1/4 of an inch. So show all those things that are important for somebody that was going to be assembling those pieces together, right? And then lastly, bring in the other piece. Make sure that you dimension this part, all the parts need to be dimensioned. This time we're going to bring in the guide, which looks like this. We'll put it over here on the far right, project up to the top view, click, get your isometric. There's no reason to get your side view because it's identical to your front view. So that's why I'm not putting that one on there. It's just a waste of drawing space. Make sure that you go back in there and make this shaded, dimension all the parts that are important to both sides. This is going to have a lot of dimensions to it if you think about it because there's a lot of different things here that you need to include. So don't forget to dimension this one fully. I'm not going to go through it, but when you're done, it should look something like this, right, with all your dimensions. And remember, that mask down there is just going to be for the follow rod, which is okay. But this is what I need a screenshot of. And your rubric is basically based off of having all three of the parts, it being dimensioned, shaded, one-to-one scale, all the basic stuff like we had in the other drawings. But you should have this. You should have your assembly looking like this at this point. And that's all you need for part 3. We'll finish part 4 and 5 later this week. And by Friday, we should have a fully assembled Eagle Automata like we see in the video. All right, see you guys.